My name's Bob Park and I work for a company called Professional Development and Training. As a little bit of an overview as to who we are a training provider, which I'll kind of explain what that means in a minute. Our head office is based in Peterborough. We do have national coverage. My physical office is Durham. My head office is Peterborough, but we also have another office down in Basingstoke, Southampton area as well. So we do literally cover up and down the entire country. So any students in any of those main areas are the ones that we kind of look after. So in this case, it would be like the Basingstoke kind of into down the M3 LEP area from there. We deliver a range of different apprenticeships in lots of different suites. Our main focus is things like business, hospitality, childcare, healthcare, engineering. The joy of being a training provider, which I'll explain in a second, is the fact that you can deliver a lot of different apprenticeships to a lot of different people. So our range is constantly growing. So if somebody contacted us and said that they were interested in a sales apprenticeship, for example, we would be able to have a look at whether we could add that on. So we're not limited to a particular range of courses. Those ones there just happen to be our main uptake. Most people from a business suite would be looking at something like a customer service job or a management job, and we would be able to deliver on those fronts. So that's just a really brief kind of introduction as to who we are. Just thought I would kind of clarify for people what the difference between a training provider and a college really is, because that's something that a lot of people don't know, especially from a school age, like going from school, you're faced with, do I want to do an apprenticeship? Do I want to go to college? Do I want to work with a training provider? What are they? Who are they? Why are they there? What are the differences? So I thought what I would explain briefly is what a training provider like us actually does. So we deliver a range of training courses, a lot of funded courses, mainly apprenticeships, but we also look at delivering other styles of qualifications. Like for those that don't want to do a full-blown apprenticeship, we can look at the NVQs, which is a vocational style qualification. We can look at BTECs, which is a little bit more academic. We can look at functional skills, which is your maths and your English, and sometimes your IT as well. And we can also look at a range of various short courses. So there's a plethora of things that we can do to support. We can also offer unfunded, which is basically qualifications that don't draw down government funding, which would almost be like bespoke training packages, forklift licenses, for example, if a company wanted, or if a student wanted to get a forklift license because they might need it for a job, we could look at delivering something along those lines as well. So there's a lot of scope to do a lot of things. In terms of colleges and how we relate to colleges, there are a couple of similarities as to how a training provider kind of operates in a similar way. We all have qualified staff. We can't run these courses without qualified staff. All of our staff are competent, same with the college. We're all accredited to deliver these qualifications. So it's not like a fly by night. It's somebody who is accredited by the government. We've got government approval. Colleges have government approval. We're all regulated by the same companies. Ofsted would come in and check how we deliver, just the same as they would for a college. And we all deliver a range of different programs. So that's in ways that we are similar. The biggest difference between a training provider and a college, especially a smaller one like ours, is the fact that because we've got less people, we have less overheads. So we've got less buildings to pay for. We've got less kind of management chain to pay for. We use less equipment, because if you imagine the size of a college, they've got all of that tech to pay for. They've got all of those buildings to pay for, which therefore means that a lot of the funding is taken up with having to pay for that, whereas we don't have those amounts of overheads, so we can be a lot more flexible with our pricing strategies, for example. So apprentices would get more out of a training provider because we can look at bolting things on and adding things on to the delivery. We can be more flexible. So in some cases, I know when the school's finished, the usual college intake would be September, but from a training provider, we could start an apprentice in July, we could start an apprentice in August. You don't actually have to wait till the college intake. So they're just a couple of the differences with how things work, and differences between training providers and colleges. I suppose the big question that a lot of people would be asking is, like, why use any particular, I've said why use us, but in general, why use any training provider over a college? And the honest answer to that question is training providers and colleges are just as good as each other. You know, nobody can claim to be better than anybody else as such. There are league tables that you can look at, and there's going to be new government league tables coming in where apprentices are asked to feed back on the delivery of, you know, of training providers and colleges, so you can actually have a look at who other apprentices value as the best training provider. But in general terms of delivery, well, nobody's any better than anybody else. But our flexibility and the flexibility of being a training provider is a key point, because we can actually build better courses to suit the apprentices' needs and to suit the employers' needs at the same time. Just a couple of really brief examples of that in action is, you know, we work with a large motor parts company, and normal customer service apprenticeships are given, for example, a 1 year minimum to get through this, whereas we offer them a programme that lasts 2 years, and we give them additional things on top of it, like warehouse courses. And we use one particular coach that works with the entire company. This company's given us about 100 apprentices, and we have one person that looks after all of the staff on a regular basis. So it's continuity for the company. And then the second example is a small company and how we can be flexible for a small company. So we help, this is a small electrical firm, and we've helped them recruit their apprentices, because not every company has an HR structure that's capable of recruitment. So we step in and offer our advice and guidance to help them recruit the right people for the jobs. We step in and help out with HR issues if they've experienced any issues, because again, we've got people who can step in and support with that. And with this one particular company, we've actually bolted on 3 additional courses. It's cost us quite a bit of money to deliver, but they needed them to be able to operate as electricians. So we've stepped in and we've given them additional courses as part of the apprenticeship. We've bolted them onto the apprenticeship, and we've taken the cost for that. So you, as an apprentice, for example, if it's a school leaver moving in, if you went with a smaller training provider, for example, there is that ability to be able to get a little bit more out of it. That's kind of just a couple of examples of what we do. And I suppose at the end, I'm always around. I'm happy to, I know in terms of visiting schools and things, I'm more than happy to come down, go in, have a chat with people, talk to students and teachers alike about moving from schools into apprenticeships. I'm more than happy to come and do that anywhere. So if anybody's got any questions off this and want to have a chat with me, then my email address is on there anyway, but obviously you can have a chat with Shirley as well, and we can sort something out for me to come down and speak to people.
Okay, so here I am. So my name's Pam Oddy, and I'm the Traineeship Engagement Officer at NTA, which is Northern Training Academy. And you can see there my email, pamoddy@northerntrainingacademy.com, and my mobile number. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about traineeships. What is a traineeship? Who is eligible? What courses we offer at NTA? Types of work experience we offer, and how to refer. So let's start with what is a traineeship. Well, it's a government skills development programme, so obviously backed by the government, and the government have put more money into traineeships over the past few years, realising there's more of a need, particularly since COVID, and it includes a work placement. It's aimed at young people wanting to work but finding it hard to get that apprenticeship or job. It may be through lack of self-confidence, it may be lack of time in school, it might be lots of things. But it's for those young people finding it hard to get onto the employment ladder, not wanting to stay in education, but wanting to go into an apprenticeship or a job. So who's eligible? Well, anyone aged 16 to 24, or even up to 25 with an education and healthcare plan. They do need to be not in employment, education or training to qualify for a traineeship. And they can have up to level 3 A-level qualifications. That's slightly different to what it was in the past. It was up to level 2, but since COVID, that's been increased to level 3. So what does an NTA traineeship course look like? Well, it's a flexible programme, but it normally runs over 10 weeks. And each learner will get one-to-one support from their friendly and experienced coach. It's online that this happens. If they need maths and English functional skills, we can do that as well. And we also provide essential digital skills. They'll get a sector-specific qualification. So if they're doing a business admin traineeship, then they'll get an award or a certificate in business admin. And we also do work preparation as well, including level skills for employment. And again, they'll get awards and certificates for that. Now, what about the work experience? Well, it's 35 hours work experience, and that would normally run over 2 weeks. This happens in the middle of the course. So it's a 10 weeks course, and normally weeks 7 and 8 would be the work experience. Typically Monday to Friday, 9 till 5 with 1 hour for lunch. And they're supported in the workplace by a workplace buddy that's arranged before they get there. They'll also have support from an NTA manager, which will check in with the learner and check in with the employer as well to ensure everything's going well from both views. At the end, they'll get an interview with the employer, which could lead to an apprenticeship or a job. And they'll certainly get written feedback with the employer. Now, the types of work experience that we offer here, we have many national and local employers all over England, a variety of sectors, including business admin, customer service and retail. And we also offer now remote opportunities. So that's working from home, often in a digital sector. So these are companies that their employees would normally work from home. So the work experience is working from home as well. And we have quite a wide variety of roles, including digital marketing, fashion copywriter, social media, PR and journalism, and website design. And there's quite a variety of companies as well. And that doesn't matter where the individual is that's on that course. We also have at NTA, which I'm very pleased to announce, is the launch of our own new and exciting platform, an e-portfolio platform. And this makes it a lot easier for learners, particularly accessing information online, especially on mobiles. It's all geared up so they can read everything they need to on a mobile. There's fun ways to learn with quizzes and something called gamification, which just means that we use games and things to engage with the young people as they're learning, to make it fun. And there's easy editing and submission as well of assignments. Also with traineeships, the young people are allowed to apply for an NUS Apprentice Extra discount card. So that's another little hook for the young people as well. And there's lots and lots of savings there at many high street stores and online retailers as well. Now, if you had a young person that was interested in a traineeship, all as you'd need to do is pass on their name and contact details, an email and a phone, and what work experience role they were interested in. And we have a list of vacancies in your area, and then send them along to me at pamoddy@northerntrainingacademy.com. And then we'd do the rest. We'd get in contact, we'd text and email the young person, we'd check their eligibility and make sure that the traineeship was a thing that they wanted to do. Just a little bit of background about NTA, Northern Training Academy. We've been in the education sector for over 25 years now, and as you can see, our values there are integrity, we have can-do attitude, we're always improving, hence the e-portfolio platform that we're very proud of, and we're passionate about what we do, and we believe we deliver quality as well. So thank you very much. And again, that's my contact details there.